This incident happened when I was 20 years old, and I'm currently 22, so it's not too long ago while in college. I worked as a babysitter during the weekdays for one family, and occasionally as a nanny for another wealthier family on the weekends. They often went away on weekends, leaving there too. This particular incident occurred in the fall, when the leaves were falling and it was chilly outside. I arrived at the house on Friday, and Friday night went completely fine. I played with the two kids, whom I'll refer to as James and Jessica. James was 7, and Jessica was 5. They were both cute and well-behaved. Their bedtime was 7:30 for Jessica and 8:30 for James. During the day, I would spend time playing with each of them with their toys. The family had dedicated rooms for their toys, one for Jess and one for James. Jessica loved her dolls and dollhouses, and I spent a lot of time playing with her. James loved playing his video games, so I would watch him play. The family was well off, and the house was gorgeous, with a giant property, a big pond in the middle, a separate 3-car garage, and a pool with a pool. The pool house also had a bar and a room with a pool table, darts, arcade games, and a giant TV. The family was so well off that they even had an intercom connecting the pool house to the main house. If you pressed a button on the wall in either place, it would ring, and then you could talk through it. This incident happened one weekend when the family was away, and I was at the house with the kids. Everything was fine until Jessica's voice came through the intercom, saying she was scared because she kept hearing noises. Normally, she slept through the night, so I had to go and tuck her back in. After this, things took a terrifying turn. I set my food down and ran back across the yard to the house. I entered through the door with a code lock again and went to Jessica's room. She must have gone straight back to her bed after our intercom conversation because she was already back in bed, scared. I tried to comfort her, tickling her and tucking her in, so she wouldn't be scared anymore. After she felt better, I left her room, shut the door, and walked down the hall back to the kitchen to grab some wine. While looking for a wine opener, I heard the slightest crack in the wood floor from another room. I froze and looked in that direction, instinctively waiting for a second sound. I didn't want to start freaking myself out. I thought it might be a regular house settling noise. I admit I was a little creeped out now, but I left the lights and TV on in the pool house, so I had to go back. I went outside, locked the door with the code, and ran across to the pool house. I sat back down on the couch and resumed eating the rest of my food. I didn't end up bringing the wine. I still had white chicks on. I was mostly getting distracted on my phone when the intercom went off again, making me jump in my seat. I hurried to answer it, and when I did, there was silence on the other end. I heard Jessica's voice saying both Jessica and James' names at least 3 times each. Now, I was genuinely starting to become terrified. I called my friend Kelsey and told her to come here, because I'm actually getting really scared. I explained that the little girl I'm watching said she was hearing noises. And then I heard a noise, and now someone pressed the intercom button, but didn't say anything. I felt like it was not something one of the kids would do. I was still on the phone with Kelsey, who was telling me to stop being paranoid. but she also sounded drunk. I was looking out the window to the house the whole time I was on the phone with her. The hallway lights turned on. I told Kelsey this, and any possibility that it was one of the kids disappeared when a large figure stepped into frame at one of the hallway windows. I screamed and dropped the phone as I was looking at a grown man who seemed to see me, and he was looking back at me. I realized the intercom was still on this entire time. I picked up my phone, hung up on Kelsey, and called 911. As I did, I was crying and screaming into the intercom that I'm calling 911 right now. Leave us alone. I was basically screaming everything I said to the police into the intercom. I went back to the window, and he wasn't at the window in the house anymore. I was hysterical, crying, begging the 911 operator to please hurry up. She kept telling me to calm down, asking me a million questions. I kept yelling the address into the phone, saying, please hurry. When she asked if the kids were safe, I screamed, no, they're in the house, still with that man. That's when I heard Jessica's voice through the intercom, and I said, I don't know what to do, and she said, the police are almost there, you need to wait. I replied, he has the kids, and she asked if I saw if the man had any weapons. I said I couldn't tell, but then I heard Jessica's voice speaking into the intercom, saying my name. I went over and shouted, yes, I'm here, get your brother and get out of the house. She was crying, saying that there was a man in here. I said, yes, I know. Just get your brother and come outside. It was the bravest thing I had ever done. Running outside back across the yard to the house and meeting the two kids who were already at the door. I grabbed both of them. The female cop took the kids. I was answering all the questions I was asked. And then they found him. They brought out a guy who looked to be right around 60. He looked at everyone as he was brought out in handcuffs.